Hello, what is going on YouTube? Back again with another great video, and today we're going to be talking about a huge topic that no one wants to talk about but everyone wants to support. For the test of time, we have had what we call the tryhard, the sweat, and the purist speak on what is the best way to build a 350Z. And today I'm here to tell you no, pretty much why I think a max effort 350Z that's NA absolutely sucks. Now, before you guys all click off the videos and disappear on me, give me a minute. Let me explain exactly why I think these builds suck. So to begin, for a lot of people, the 350Z has always been that car that everyone was dreaming about.
Have you ever had a dream that you
when they're in their teen years going on to their young adults 20s, and just thought it would be the perfect two-door, two-seater space coupe, the ultimate drift platform, the ultimate nice looking stock baseline car that you can get out for a decent-ish amount price. So if you're like me, I got my Z when I was 19 years old and it came completely stock. And the first thing you end up doing is keyboard warring and figuring out how you're gonna make 600, 700 horsepower, just like fresh kicks. However, you quickly learn that in the car community and for the 350Z, such things is not that easy and quite complicated. So you do what most young people do best. We opt out of the faster, higher platform to make power and do the cheap stuff first, which ends up costing you, in my opinion, in the long run. We go the NA build route, the full bolt-on route. The point of this video is going to be pretty much a comparison between the two with the parts and prices of both a full bolt-on or a max effort NA build. This will be compared to your typical mid-mount turbocharger versus a max effort build in price and in parts and in labor, to see what is the best bang for buck. So to begin, we're gonna have to go ahead and pretty much talk about all the things you're gonna need to increase that horsepower on that 350Z. The things that you're gonna end up probably needing for your 350Z NA to make power is gonna end up being full bolt-on kit. And the full bolt-on kit is gonna end up being your exhaust first and foremost. You're gonna have to probably go all the way down from your headers all the way down to your catback exhaust. So that's gonna include headers, it's gonna include the Y pipe, it's gonna include the test pipe, and it's also going to include other things such as possibly fueling, E85, and a tune. However, I won't add a tune to these prices for both of the lists. We're just gonna do the main parts on the parts list when it comes to making power. To start off, we have the nice and one of the more expensive exhausts out there on the market, being the Tome Extreme single exit exhaust. That exhaust is going to range you from around 1,200. It could be 1,500 depending on what vendor you get. Back in the day when I got mine, it was only 900. So we're going to go around that scale of 1,200. Now the exhaust is about a 3-inch exit exhaust with allowing more airflow and less back pressure, which will be able to give you a better engine flow, which can increase your wheel horsepower and give you some type of exponential gain from what it is stock. Now I'm gonna have to scratch something, because in order for us to make an exponential gain in an NA full effort build, we're gonna also have to do more than piping just to make any power. I can tell you now, based off of experience, with just a full on piping, which is just your full exhaust system, a platinum spacer, and even E85 for a DE, you're probably not going to make any more than 290 to 300 wheel horsepower.
What? Huh?
So we're going to go big and crazy so we can have as much horsepower as we can get. The next step that you would also need to have would be your Tome cams for your car, or any cams that you can find like JWT, and I would say the price range would be somewhere around $792 to $800 pretty much. That's what you're gonna need to make a little bit more power, increase your RPM so you can get more peak horsepower out of your engine. The Y pipe will also need to be increased in diameter so you can have more airflow to make more horsepower. So the exhaust will probably typically cost you around $400, somewhere between that nature. And yeah, you end up getting that increased airflow. Also means potentially increasing in your horsepower. As for the headers, you're going to need a fat increase, as the OEM headers that come on the 350Z are not that great when it comes to making more power on an NA build. So you would probably have to go along with another set of Tome, or you can get the PPE, which is vastly more expensive. But the Tome headers are typically around the range of $500 to $700. If you're looking for PPE, which won't count on this total build sheet, it'll probably be somewhere in the thousands. Now this is gonna be the part of the video where a lot of you guys is gonna hate. Y'all not gonna like this price. Y'all gonna get really upset. The only way you're going to break that 300 wheel horsepower gap seriously is going to be getting a stroker kit motor rebuild for your VQ35DE. Now these stroker kits are questionably and undoubtedly expensive. The stroker kit for a 350Z can range between $5,000 to $6,000. They're on sale right now on Z1 and I believe in stock for about $5,000 something dollars, but that's not all that's left to it. It's not a full bolt-on application. Now this application is going to cause you to have to tear down your motor and rebuild, and for those that are faint in working on cars or not mechanically inclined, this is going to require you to spend big bucks on a machine shop to reassemble, to clean out your motor, bare block, bore it out, just to make all the parts fit together so you can get your full max effort stroked from whatever it is, from 3.5 to 3.8, or maybe a 3.9, or even a 4-liter VQ35DE. Now on top of just the parts for the stroker kit, you're also going to have that labor fee like I talked about earlier. So add on from 5,000 onto 2K for labor for someone to put together this motor, and it could be more. This is just an estimate based off of what it would have cost me to get my motor rebuilt. And on top of buying the stroker kit, that is not all that happens. You still have to pay for the labor, and the labor for this could be pretty extensive. I would say it will cost you somewhere around $6,000 to put together this stroker kit, because it's going to be a lot of extensive work with boring out the motor and making everything fit together, making the labor cost a lot more. So I would say anywhere between $3,000 to $6,000 if you go to a professional shop. Now we have friends and family that work on motors, so it might be different for everyone, but this is just an estimate of how much it would cost to get a bored out motor and stroker kit installed. And now that we're towards the end of this build sheet for the NA build, to get the car up and running, to make this horsepower goal on this car will probably end up being a whopping, drumroll please, 350 wheel to 400 wheel horsepower max. If you guys think my numbers are wrong, leave a comment down below what you guys have seen a max effort horsepower NA build make. Now next up we have the famous and one of the more common things that we end up seeing in today's time with a DE, forced induction. Now to start it off, you're going to still need some necessities that was in the last list for the full max effort NA build, and those things are going to be your Tome exhaust at 1,200, a wide pipe at about 400 to 500, and we'll also still need a built block, but here is where the prices differ. So a kit to rebuild the motor for a 350Z can be easily found on Z1 and probably some other places like Concept Z for about 2.4 to about 2.7. You can buy a whole rebuilt kit and it'll probably run you about 2.6 to 3K to buy all the necessary parts. However, that does not include labor or the machine shop. Now, if you're very crafty and mechanically inclined, you can cut down your labor costs by a lot, other than getting this block machine to be able to fit all the new necessities that you bought with this rebuilt kit. However, if you're going to a machine shop, you're going to be looking to spend somewhere around $3,600 in labor. So just be prepared that your labor costs will be around there. It could be cheaper or it could be a little bit more expensive, but this is just going to be our rough estimate of how much it would all cost. Now you have the bigger part for the forced induction roll, which is going to be your turbo kit. Now I would have put the top mount for the 350Z, which typically runs for about 2K. You could even find some for 1.5 or 3.5 used. Not a lot of people selling them new nowadays, so you usually have to find them on things like Facebook Marketplace and things like that, etc, etc. So we're gonna go ahead and pick out one of the best that you can find, openly available brand new, which is the mid mount kit. Now the mid mount kit will probably cost you or run you about $7,000. Some of them come with a fuel system, so you don't have to buy the fuel pump as well as the injectors, but just keep those in mind. However, for a turbo build, you do need to have that fuel system added and on hand, because you will not be able to make efficient power without having a better fuel system, because your car will not be able to handle how much pressure the turbo is making in terms of power to mix with air fuel ratio. So you will need to upgrade. I think I said that wrong. You will need to upgrade your fuel system, however, with a turbo, because we need to meet the needs of adding on forced induction with it. Now, overall, the total horsepower that you probably get from this kit, as well as everything with the built motor, probably running around you from 600 to 700 wheel horsepower or more, depending on what performance kit or rebuilt kit that you get. But let's just say 600 to 700 at the least will probably run you a total to 550 wheel horsepower to 650 wheel horsepower, which is a lot higher than the full max effort NA build. Now you're probably wondering, what is the total between both of them? So the total for the NA build on a 350Z full max effort is going to cost you a whopping $14,242. And now the total for a full forced induction build for a 350Z is going to cost you $15,950. Now you guys tell me, what do you guys think is the best bang for buck in terms of horsepower? Now the 350Z NA build is a little bit cheaper, about $1,000 or $1,000 something bucks. However, we're only going to be able to get a beneficial gain around 350 to 400 wheel horsepower, and it's very hard to reach that 400 wheel horsepower range. However, when you go the forced induction route, you get another whopping 200 to 250 to even 300 more horsepower to the wheel. I believe that the NA full effort side is great for people that just started in the car community because it's not so expensive. You can put on parts and continue driving the car as you go on throughout the journey, versus forced induction. Once you start, you have to completely finish. You have to completely put all your money into the build. You have to completely tune the car doing the NA route. I also did the NA route. But if I were to go back and properly plan this in the past, I would have just saved my money, went forced induction, built my block, or found a built block somewhere used, making it a little bit cheaper, you know, just cutting corners where you can. But I thank you guys for watching this video. Hope to see you guys again, and I hope that you guys like and subscribe to this video. More to come, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Jana.